This evening, I'm joined by the Senator of the host county, Mombasa, the Honorable Senator Hassan Omar. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Nimrod.
And I'm also joined by the Secretary General of the County Assemblies Forum, Mheshimiwa Albert Kochei, who also doubles up as the Speaker of the County Assembly of KO. Karibu sana.
Thank you, thank you.
Now, I think, let me start with you, Mheshimiwa Albert Kochei, because you, in a nutshell, represent the members of the county assemblies. And we listened to the goings on today, and the members of county assembly today revisiting the issue about the election and insisting that it has to be pushed forward for another 8 months. A number of them, we spoke to them away from the session that was going on, actually even told us that they're not willing to cede the offices or the office of the MCA even after the August 8th election. What exactly does that mean?
I don't think whether it's a question of whether they are willing to cede or not. And for me, there's nothing extraordinary in this conversation. All that the county assemblies are asking is judicial interpretation of the law. It's as simple as that. Because for us, we think there is a lacuna in law in terms of a 5-year term. We all know that the county assemblies came into being on March 2013. So basically, if you count 5 years from March, it will take all the way to 2018 March. So what we did as a county assemblies, and I wish that it is not going to be sub judice, because already we are in court, is that we have gone to the High Court to help us to interpret that law in terms of what happens, because it's like there is a contractual agreement that the term of the county assembly is supposed to be 5 years. So it should not be concluded that the members of the county assembly are asking that the election to be postponed. That is far from the truth. All that we are asking is let the courts interpret that section of the constitution and just tell us whether because we are the first county assembly, whether then it's going to be considered that we need to sacrifice for the first, or the county assemblies will be paid because of the term of 5 years.
Now, Mheshimiwa Senator Omar, let me bring you in here, and I want us to have a candid conversation about this. Is there even need in the first place for that interpretation?
There are legal dimensions to any matter, yes. And there are also political dimension. The legal dimension does validate any Kenyan to go to court to seek any political or whatever interpretation, legal interpretation. But for me, the political dimension to it is that elections are on 8th of August, period, 2017. We have been blessed in the first instance to be the transition kind of pioneers of the various, arms of the various architecture of the new constitution, senators, members of the county assembly. And therefore, being that transition, there are sacrifices to be made, as I said earlier this afternoon. And therefore, I think it is not even a question of interpretation. I think they should just acclimatize themselves that there is going to be an election on 8th of August, and the taxpayers or Kenyans owe them nothing.
But Senator Omar, when you hear a number of MCAs, I know you've interacted with a number of them, and even the ones who come from Mombasa County, when they talk about not wanting to cede power even after the August 8th election because they'll be coming out of office when their due term is not complete. What does that say?
I support the MCAs on a number of questions. Today I talk very passionately about the MCAs. I believe we must add the functional capacity of MCAs. I think we must elevate the status of this office, where we must allow them to execute their oversight function, their legislative functions. You know, they say the trinity of what an elected member is supposed to do. But there are certain issues that, frustrate and ike the concerns of the Kenyan people when it comes to politicians. These are the kinds of things that we plug in for our payment for lack of completion of a full term of office. Or are we supposed to end on the 8th of August, or are we supposed to proceed to March 3rd? Mm-hmm. And that's why Kenyans are getting extremely frustrated by the political class in this country. And therefore it behoves upon us at some point to make some very honest interpretations. We are losing a couple of months, 8 months, but from that point onwards, then the car starts to function very, it starts to roll as is expected by the Constitution.
Mheshimiwa Albert Kochei, short of any extension of the election date, what the MCAs also are asking is to be paid the amount due to them, equivalent to the 8 months that they will be out of office. For a number of people, and especially the electorate, they look at this as greed, because even the MCAs themselves are not talking about the pieces of legislation that they ought to be passing or working on during the 8 months that they ought to have been working. So in that case, a number of people consider this to be nothing else but greed. What do you have to say?
I think this is one conversation that I would always encourage, that we engage with a lot of sobriety. One, there is nothing it's not extraordinary what we are asking. Already the National Assembly, a couple of months ago, they have gone to an extent of, petitioning Treasury to be able to allocate that kind of money for the 8 months. I still stand on the decision that we made as a county assemblies. For us, it's not about greed. It's about interpretation of the law. You already, from your conversation today with some of the MCAs, you've had some making political statements that we are not willing to cede power. So to remove all those doubts, let the law, the courts be able to help us to unlock the current stalemate. And the stalemate, basically, is either because we are transitional county assembly, maybe we need to sacrifice those months, or the payments, therefore, because of the contractual. And this is applicable to any other contract.
Let me say, this issue about people not ceding power. Yes. Trust me, no MCA will be able to do it. When I become governor of Mombasa, if I were an MCA, I will eject you from those offices. They will effect a citizen ejection. Listen, seriously, let's not. We are politicians. Let's be sincere with this. This is not a question of sobriety. The only sobriety Kenyans are asking also of the political class. We can't go all the time loading onto them, the taxpayers that have genuinely elected us to offices of government, to always load them for our expenses, to load them for our hefty trips, to load them for our health care system, to hold them for everything. So I think in this regard, I think you need to be extremely fair to them.
My final question as we come to an end. The other day, President Uhuru Kenyatta made his State of the Nation address to both the two parliaments. And one of the key things he addressed was the preparation to conduct the election on the August of 8th. And I remember him repeating that it has to be on the August of 8th, 2017. A number of you, such as yourselves, support him and his bid for re-election. I wonder what that means when you say you will not participate in the August 8th election until there's been a proper interpretation to the law.
I think, let me remove this misinterpretation of what you've said. There is no, and I'm talking as the Secretary General of the County Assemblies Forum. Yes. We have not made any pronouncement that the county assemblies are asking for extension of term. So just remove that completely. We are ready for election on 8th of August 2017. All that we are asking is there is a lacuna in law. Let it be interpreted. We will go as per the decision of the courts.
Fair
enough. As simple as that.
Fair enough, gentlemen. Yeah. I think because of time we'll have to end it there.